Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Can you believe it? We are in Module 4. And Module 4 focuses on poetry, realistic fiction, and fantasy. This is a 3-week module, the longest one that we have in the course. So for this week, our very first week of our module, we're focusing on poetry, and it's a lighter week than usual. You'll notice that you have a poetry reading from our course readings. Then we will have a reading organizer on poetry, and we will not have a reading commentary or an additional assignment due this week. We will just be going on the Flipgrid, reading our favorite poem out loud. So this assignment is due on Thursday. It's very similar to a reading commentary. The initial post on the Flipgrid is due Thursday, and then you want to respond to one peer by Sunday. So what you have to do for this assignment is I would like you to read through the course readings on poetry, of course, and then find a poem that you love. If this is a poem from Shel Silverstein, Where the Sidewalk Ends, that's awesome. If it's a poem that you've just known your whole life, that's fantastic. If you're just going to do a Google search for awesome poems and you find one that you like, that's fine too. But you must decide on a poem, and you must be able to read the poem and tell me who the author of the poem is. So once you've chosen your poem, you want to practice reading it over and over again. And in your reading, you should have feeling in the reading. There should be some sort of emotion. It shouldn't just be a flat read, once upon a time, or roses are red, violets are blue. It should have some inflection and some emotion. Roses are red, violets are blue, right? So that we can really feel the emotion that was intended, or that at least you interpreted from the poem itself. Practice it, practice again. I recommend reading the poem in the mirror, because then you can see yourself. You don't feel uncomfortable because you're not on camera yet, and you get used to seeing yourself give that poem. Memorizing the poem is not required, but if it's easy enough to memorize, it might be fun to do it that way. Once you are ready and to read your poem, you are going to log into the Flipgrid below. This link is going to link you directly out to the Flipgrid. You will not be accessing Flipgrid in its own app. So you only can access Flipgrid through Canvas through this direct link below. If you have Flipgrid on your phone or your device, because you do use it regularly, please don't access the grid from your Flipgrid app, because that's not the way this is set up. So it must be accessed right here from Canvas. So what do? We are going to click on the link, and miraculously it brings you here to the Flipgrid. The directions are loaded in the assignment, but here they are again. Choose your poem, and practice with inflection. To record your response, you will click here, Record Response. You have approximately 2 minutes to give your poem. You don't need to use all 2, but it needs to be within 2 minutes. You will complete your poem. Then I believe it asks you to take a selfie of yourself, and then you submit the poem. Now, you're also required to respond to one peer in a meaningful way. So as you can see right now, nobody has responded to the Flipgrid, so I don't have any examples of peers to respond to right now. But the way you respond to a peer is you click on a person's poem who's reading, and when they have completed, if you scroll down just a little bit, you'll see a big red button, very similar to this one, that says record a comment, or make a comment, excuse me. So you will click make a comment, and then it will give you a video screen, and you will then make a lovely comment to your peer about their poem. If you just click record a response here and don't click on a peer and then click on make a comment, it will just make its own initial post and your peer will not receive that comment. So do make sure that you are clicked onto a classmate's poem. Then once you've viewed their reading, click on make a comment to them directly and make your comment. Once you have completed this, you will jump back over to Canvas and in a text respond to I have completed the Flipgrid and responded to, and then tell me the peer that you responded to. That is all you have to do for this week. If you have any questions about Flipgrid, please email me through Canvas. One of the reasons this week is so easy is because your next literature study is going to be due next week. So in our previous modules and our looking ahead tabs, it has recommended that you start reading The Hunger Games. So I hope that you are reading along in The Hunger Games and just about finished. If you're not finished with The Hunger Games, remember your digital copy is right here or loaded at the top of our course in the Getting Started module, and get started reading on that immediately. Next week in fantasy, the fantasy week will be a reading organizer on fantasy reading right here, due on Tuesday. Then, as many of you will be excited to find out, we have a reading commentary on most frequently challenged books. A lot of you put in your Selecting Children's Literature reading commentary or reading organizer, that you really wanted to learn more about banned books, banned and challenged books. So here's the opportunity to learn more. You're going to click on 100 most frequently challenged books. Explore that, and then pick 2 books from that list that you want to read and respond to this post. Include the title and the author. Describe why should the books that you chose and read be considered banned or challenged. Provide links to a minimal of 2 sources that used research on the information regarding the books. So there should be additional information on why these books were banned. So you do need to do a little bit more digging. A lot of times you can find that if you do a Google search of the book. The next, tell us the topic or part of the book that youth might find intriguing. But also could cause that book to be challenged. And then attach an image of that book, the 2 books that you read. For the option 2 version, you will do an online search of the 2 most challenged books and then do a review on those 2 books that you highlighted. And then as follows. Title and author, why should the books be considered banned or challenged? Provide 2 links in addition to your reviews that support information on why those books were banned or challenged. And then the same thing as option 1. Tell us what youth might find intriguing, but also could cause the book to be challenged. And then attach a digital image of the book as well as the 2 links to the reviews that you used. Okay, that is our reading commentary. Now we are going to take a look at the literature study. So assuming you have completed your reading of The Hunger Games, you are going to do something very fun. This is my favorite of all the literature studies because it is so useful. Those of you going into education, you're going to love this. You are going to create a book report ball. So this will require you to have access to a printer, so plan accordingly. There is a template here. The template looks like this. It doesn't really make sense. Well, you need to print out 12 of these templates. If you don't have access to a printer, you could freehand this if you need to, but or if you don't want to make a bunch of printer copies, you could make one and then freehand draw the other 11, but you will need a total of 12 of these template sheets printed out. Then you are going to cut out the circles and fold the tabs of the pentagon to join them together with the other pentagon. So to make it more clear, this is what it should look like. You cut the circle out here, you leave the pentagon where it is supposed to be, and then once you have all the circles cut out, you fold these little tabs here and then staple the tabs together. It doesn't have to be in any particular order, but all 12 of these sides will make a really cool ball. And then when you're done, you have this, and if you are a person going into education, this can be really cool for your teaching toolbox. These are some examples of what the Bloom's ball or the book report ball should look like, and multiple of them. Okay, so now that you know how to do the template and how to make the ball, in your, for completing the assignment, each of the templates, each of the pages are going to include these answers. So the first thing you have to do is the Hunger Games is broken into 3 sections. There's part 1, part 2, and part 3 of the Hunger Games. If you have a copy or a digital copy, you will see it broken down. You will only choose one section of the book to report on for this Bloom's ball. You can see here, this is how it breaks down. I'm going to go from the bottom up because this is attached to the Bloom's taxonomy theory. So remember, when we do a remember part of Bloom's, we will use 2 of our circles. One circle will be write the title, the author, and the copyright date of the book. The other circle will be write 4 interesting facts about the author. Bam, 2 circles are done. For the understand component, you only need 1 circle or 1 template page. Draw a picture of the main character and write a description of him or her, including the personality traits. It's okay if you're not an artist. If you are an artist, enjoy. If you're not, just do your very best. I'm not judging. Apply part is going to require 2 templates, 2 circles. The first one will be draw a picture of one of the settings from the section of the story and describe it. So you need to draw and describe. The other circle will be write 3 questions that you would like to ask the author or any character from this section of the story. So you could ask the character or the author themselves. Analyze requires 4 circles. The first one will be to draw a picture of a surprising part of this section of the story and describe it. So there should be an image as well as text describing. And the second one, write the main events to summarize the section in the beginning. There should be 2 to 3 sentences. The main events to describe the middle should be 3 to 4 sentences. And the main events to summarize the end should be 2 to 3 sentences. This beginning, middle, and end summary does not require pictures. You do not have to draw anything. Evaluate is 1 circle. This is where you will predict what might have happened if the problem in the section was not solved. This should be at least 5 sentences. And then create. This is the last 2 circles. You will rate the book on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being the highest. Tell why you would or would not recommend it to a friend with evidence. It should be about 5 sentences. And then the last one, explain why you think the author wrote this story. This is Bloom's taxonomy at its finest. It is so much fun and would be fabulous to use in your future classroom. I hope you enjoy this literature study. To submit, you will submit a picture of your completed ball, as well as the 12 individual slides of the report. So I should be able to see the ball put together, as well as each individual slide, each individual template so that I can see what is written. As you can see here, I can see what this one slide is, but I'm not able to read everything else. So you can include it all in one document, like make a PDF and just include all the files, or a Google document or a Google Slides. Or if you want to submit each individual photo, a total of 13 photos, I would accept that as well. Okay, I will make one quick video for the last week of Module 4, and I will see you there. Email me through Canvas with any questions. Have a great week, guys. Thanks.